I want to talk about a few things. First, Roe v. Wade. Uh, you know, uh, they're talking about the illegitimacy of the Supreme Court and the government. Well, basically, I'm going to say, yeah, because they weren't legitimate to begin with. I've said it before in on my videos that the U.S. so-called government and the system has was founded on illegitimacy. The more and more I learn about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the more and all the other apparatuses, the more the more strongly I feel that the so-called U.S. The nation of United States, or the country of the United States, is illegitimate. Never mind the fact that it was done at the end of a bayonet and firearms. Never mind the fact that colonial invaders basically slaughtered and committed a genocide, which through both physical and so-called laws and regulations and breaking of treaties, they continue to do. They accuse cultural genocide in Xinjiang, China, but you look at all the things that they make accusations of, and you see that like the population in Xinjiang, especially among the minorities like the Uyghurs, you can't have a genocide if they more than double their population. Okay, that's just not possible. You can't have a cultural genocide when their language is written all over the place. And this is from people who have actually gone to Xinjiang. You can't have a cultural genocide when the when the Chinese money, the yuan, actually has the Uyghur language. You can't sterilize Uyghur minorities when that would require 4 to 6 times the population of women having to go through that IUD process, where you basically make it the IUD contraception program. These are the sort of things. The U.S. has done that to the indigenous population, as well as those so-called migrants that come from the South. Those actually are credible. There's actually pictures from old times and videos that were black and white where they actually are doing surgery or experiments on people, mostly from those indigenous who rightfully who have rightful claims to the lands rather than the Europeans, and they're doing them without anesthetics. It just goes on. Never mind all those. Let's remember that the U.S. and Canada both had these boarding schools where indigenous children were brought in and forced to change they couldn't speak. They had to learn to speak English. They had to learn how to act like a European Westerner, and so on and so forth. And so there's your cultural genocide. The Uyghur language in Xinjiang, they're still talking. And it's not just Uyghurs. It's not just Uyghurs. There's other minorities in Xinjiang, and they can all talk their own language. Never mind the fact that the policy in China is actually for the minorities is that they promote they make Mandarin a secondary language that they must learn. Never mind that China has been going and to the what's that one the national heritage thing where international national heritage, and they've been pushing for Uyghur culture and tradition. Yeah, you didn't hear about that though, right? And that was the Chinese government doing that. So let's not forget that the women couldn't vote in this country, and the illegitimacy of them going against Roe versus Wade, which all these fuckers that got put on to the so-called Supreme Court had said, "Oh, that's the law of the land. We won't be retracting that." But they did. And what about all the and being that how is Roe v. Wade was the law of the land? How is it all these fucking states with their own little cabals of criminals decide, we don't care about the law of the land. We're going to do our own anti-abortion laws and statutes and regulations. And all these so-called pro-life groups who use violence and intimidation to stop people from going. Yeah, and this brings me to the topic that I really wanted to cover. So, Sergei Lavrov, there was a clip of Sergei Lavrov I watched where he talks about, how basically the EU and NATO and the West are basically doing everything that happened up to the build-up of World War II. And I've been learning about history and not going along with the complete and utter fabrication that I've been told all my life from the days of my school days and everything else, which is just a whole cloth fabrication. And so I've been learning about real history, and the real history is that the United States and the Western Europeans all omitted the fact that they were the ones egging on the Germans. They were the ones supporting but also egging them on by using economic and other nefarious and shit to do that. To cause and help the benefit of the rise of the Nazis in Germany. They didn't tell you about how the West was selling weapons, including the U.S. and also the Scandinavian and Nordic countries were selling weapons and material to Nazi Germany. They didn't tell you about that. They didn't want to widely publish the Queen of England when she was a child with the rest of the royal family going, Sieg Heil. They didn't show you all of that, right? Or the comments and other shit made by the U.S. so-called government, right? That were basically saying, hey, we're all good with that. So so basically what it turned out is they egged it on, they were supporting it, and then when they were trying to cause havoc, right? by help trying to destroy the rising German and Germanic economic strength. In other words, and other things. And so what ended up happening? They got military. Same thing that happened in Japan. They didn't tell you about all the other shit that that's been going on for centuries, and why the Japanese decided that they need to become militarized. They didn't tell you any of that. Nobody. The thing is, I didn't know about that. I find out about it by paying attention, by investing into learning about actual history, and not the fabricated fantasy that's told. So, I did videos before where I explained why Japan went the route it did, and they were right to militarize, but what they didn't do, what they did, and I don't approve of, is they decided, oh, fuck it, we need to expand our territory, we need to expand our control, so that we can protect the Japanese mainland. They could have gone the route that China did. China has built up a more than credible military. They've built up their economy. They've built up their industrial base, but they haven't gone the route that the British did, that the French did, that the Italians, Germans, the U.S., and so on and so forth, and sending their militaries all over the fucking place, causing the disruption of societal, political, economic, food. So this is what's happening now. That's what precipitated the Russians going into Ukraine, and it's happening again. And then there's the other one. You have the new commanding general of the UK talking about how Europe has to go to war with Russia, and that the troops need to be ready for World War III. Then you got Biden calling for basically taking out the political leadership in Russia. The same thing, same shit that they're doing in China, using Taiwan. The similarities are almost carbon copies. I mean, the First World War was the same way. So, but unlike, I've said it previously, unlike the Second World War, where the U.S. and Canada and didn't actually face a hot war, this is not World War II. World War III will not leave people in North America free of the violence and destruction and killing that took place all over the world, but not in North America. That's not going to be that's not what's going to happen. The Chinese, and these are the top people in China, including their top military people, are saying are coming out and quite bluntly saying, hey, if you think that your attempts to start a war with us will leave you unfazed this time, you're wrong. And the Russians have said the exact same thing. So, in that little clip from Lavrov, he's basically saying, look, we know you're building up to start a conflict with us, and it's not just a proxy war. You're looking to start an actual war, direct war with us, you and the West and NATO. I mean, think of what happened in Latvia. No, is it Latvia? No, no. The hell is it? Oh crap! I can't think. It starts with an L. But there's a little enclave from the Second World War that the Russians, at the end of the World War, actually took from Germany, and there's a Baltic ex-Soviet state or ex-Soviet territory. They have I think like a three or somewhere around 3 million people, and it's a small European state that is part of the EU and part of NATO, and there's a rail line that goes through there from Russia to this little enclave that that's Russia's territory. It's called Kaliningrad, and this country has said, you can't use that railroad, and basically they put a blockade. And the Russians have responded very, very rightfully responded, and said, by doing this, you're putting yourself on the firing line, and you're gonna pay a price, a heavy price. All of this, the sanctions, which haven't worked, and it's been a blowback to the EU and the US, and Russians aren't suffering high inflation costs and everything else, and their currency is even better. Last time I heard, it was 52 Russian rubles to $1 US. We as a people, we have to be forceful. We have to come out and make sure that that our ruling criminals understand that we will not tolerate it. They must fear us. They must fear us to the point where they're saying, "Hey, if we don't step down, if we don't get out of here and bug out, they're gonna lynch us." That's what needs to take place. Either that, or we should stop sending make it known that we're not sending our men and women to serve in the military. We're not going to be sending our taxes or our resources or anything to Washington, to these high criminals. And understand that, from local to state to federal, they're all in it. And that's what we need to be forceful. We need to make sure that they understand to fear us, the people, so that they rabbit out and find themselves a deep dark hole they won't ever come out of. And that includes the so-called corporations and big wealth in this country, because they are a part of it. They're making most of our policies. They're the ones driving the agenda. They're the ones doing daylight robbery. And this is on a 24-hour cycle. They're the ones taking away the democracy, the freedoms, the liberties. And Roe versus Wade, reversing that, is just another example. We have to come together. And we have to understand this is an existential threat to us. We can't stand on the sidelines.